Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Stephen here on a lazy Friday afternoon, evening even, to talk about the latest Manchester City rumours. And this one's an interesting one. It's about Gabriel Jesus, my man. The idea of him leaving already makes me a little bit sad, actually. I love Gabby. I admit that there's some flaws to his game, but ultimately, I love the guy. I think he's an absolutely fantastic footballer. Flawed or not, the idea of leaving makes me feel a little bit sad potentially. So you may be thinking, where is this coming from? What's this all about? So today I'm going to tell you a little bit about where these news reports are coming from and all that kind of stuff, and talk about what this potentially means for Man City. Do I think there's any credibility to it? All of this kind of stuff. I would say if you are new to the channel or you're not new to the channel, if you never clicked the subscribe button, please do hit the subscribe button and help support me over here on Esteemed Kompany if you don't mind. Hit the subscribe button, and of course while you're watching this right now live, please do give the video a like. Let's get to 100 likes nice and quickly as we talk about this. And I hope you're all good as well. This video was meant to be live 20 minutes earlier, but I realized the EDS was on and I started to watch them instead. Currently 2-1. It's about to be half-time as well. So, yeah, let's talk about Gabriel Jesus and these rumours, because they are certainly worth paying attention to. Now, already, Patrick Carolus there with the member chat there saying, where's it gone? Saying, I'm a big fan of Gabriel Jesus. Got his kit the first year. I understand the move and think he will smash it wherever he goes. Thank you, Gabriel Jesus. If he goes, if he does go, cheers, Stephen. Yeah, interesting, Patrick, to see if he does go. So basically, I'll jump over to these reports and talk them through with you guys here. So this is obviously from the aggregators here over on City Extra. And it says, Gabriel Jesus is in very advanced talks with Arsenal over a transfer. All that is needed now is an agreement with Man City. This is from Jorge Nicola via Sports Witness. It goes on to say as well, should Arsenal not reach an agreement with Man City, they would wait until Gabriel Jesus' contract expires in 2023 to sign him on a free. However, the belief is that Man City are expected to ask for a small compensation this summer. So there you go. They are the reports that he could go on a free in a year, or he could go to Arsenal or another team this summer. The idea is that he's going to be available to leave this summer as part of a bit of a revamp of our essentially forward line, which is interesting. Now, of course, the big elephant in the room is the fact that he's got 1 year left on his contract. When you've got 1 year left on his contract, well, of course, after the end of this season, you're in a very strong position, a very, very strong position as a player. You get all the negotiation points, basically. And it's kind of interesting because it's just not just him, it's Sterling as well. Is it Mahrez? I think it's Sterling and Mahrez, of course, are in a situation where they could leave in a year too. Which is not particularly good for Manchester City right now. Our squad isn't very big. Our squad isn't the biggest squad. We know that there are limitations to the size of it. So potentially having a couple of them leaving isn't necessarily what we want. It isn't. That's not to say this is going to happen, of course. Now, this one is an interesting move for me, if this does happen. I think it's always been relatively written in the stars that if we do sign a couple of forward players, someone is going to leave. And I thought it was always relatively likely that it could have been Gabriel Jesus as well. We know how much Pep Guardiola loves Raheem Sterling, and I think he was always more likely to potentially extend his contract. Jesus, it's been a really weird time. We'll get on to why it's been a weird time for Jesus over the past few years, but if we do bring in Alvarez, which seems likely, it seems very likely that Julian Alvarez will come in July and be a part of Manchester City's first team next season. Alvarez, of course, is a very versatile forward. He can play on the right, play on the left, he can play as a Saka. Does that remind you of anyone? Gabriel Jesus. Also, he presses really hard, works really well, intelligent and good play. Once again, it reminds you of someone. And of course, we're heavily linked to a certain Norwegian striker that you may have heard of. Erling Braut Haaland could, of course, come to Manchester City in the summer. It feels that Man City are going for a striker regardless of Alvarez coming in or not. So say we do go to Dreamland, we do sign Haaland, we do bring in Alvarez. That is two more forwards who are almost certainly going to get ahead of Jesus in the pecking order. So would you blame Jesus in this circumstance for wanting to go, or maybe Man City thinking he's the odd one out that could potentially leave? So I actually can see this as a scenario that may happen. There's also the small matter. It's not a big thing, but the number 9 shirt, It could be that, it's a very easy solution to the situation there of giving Haaland the number 9 shirt. So that's not the major thing, but it's a nice little bit of it's a nice convenience of Man City in the big old marketing grand scheme of things. It's been a weird one with Jesus. I mean, I really like Gabriel Jesus in terms of what he brings to the squad, his work rate, his commitment, his desire, and all this kind of stuff. And I think largely he's never really stepped out of Aguero's shadow. And I think he struggled a little bit with being the guy that was meant to replace him, but had all this pressure on his shoulders. I remember when he first came, he was a lot more comfortable in front of goal as a number 9 than he was now. I would say, if anything, he sort of regressed as a striker over his time at Manchester City. And I do think a large part of that was just waiting to be the Aguero replacement. So when he did get on the pitch, he couldn't quite deal with the pressure, or maybe he tried too hard. And then, of course, if he missed a couple of chances, he got himself down a little bit too much. Whereas Aguero coming in and scoring a bunch of goals essentially added a lot of pressure on Jesus to be the man to replace Aguero. And I think there was an awful lot of pressure on him from the fans, not aggressively, but the fans and the club, for him to step into those shoes. And many a striker have struggled with that expectation. And Xhaka struggled a little bit, if I'm being honest, as well. We saw many great strikers come in and go behind Aguero in the pecking order. And it's very hard to do. Balotelli found it hard to fight him off. Negredo got alongside him, but, there's many better strikers who have been around Aguero sat on the bench. It's a very normal thing to do. So basically, I think over the years, his confidence in front of goal was a little bit shot. He started to miss chances here and there. He started to drift towards the wing. And I think what should have happened is probably about 2 years ago, when it's obvious Aguero was going to go. He should have just been told, you are a number 9. You will play as our number 9. You'll go through the middle. Do not worry about missing chances. You're going to give you 20 games there. Go and show how good that we know you are. Go and show that. But I think he always got inside his own head a little bit. So I think he always got inside his own head and he couldn't quite live with the expectation. It can happen. It can happen. I do weirdly think that if he goes somewhere else, Gabriel Jesus, free from the Aguero shackles, free from the pressure of being the number 9 for Man City, weirdly, I think he'll absolutely hit it off somewhere and score a ton of goals. I would not be surprised whatsoever if he went somewhere else and absolutely became a superstar. Genuinely wouldn't be surprised whatsoever, because I think he's got that to his game potentially. I think he's kind of transitioned into a winger, has come from a place of his own lack of confidence as opposed to preference for him as a player. And that can happen sometimes. Do I think this will happen? I think there's something in this. I absolutely think there's something in this. To Arsenal, I don't really know if it'll be Arsenal. That's the current link, of course. Weirdly, it would not surprise me whatsoever if he went to Arsenal. Mikel Arteta's worked very closely with him. He fits the profile that Arsenal would want. I reckon hard-working young player, great with a link-up play, versatile as well. And Arteta once again knows and trusts his game. And of course, it could be a relative bargain fee. Now, with a year left on his contract, annoyingly, we're not in a very good negotiating position there. I would love him to go for 50, 60 million, but generally do not be surprised if someone bids 25 to 30 million and he goes for that, given the fact that he's got 1 year left. That would be naff, because he's worth absolutely more than that, but I would not be surprised. City aren't very good at selling players and getting big money for players that are about to leave, unfortunately, but I would not be surprised too. Now, there are many clubs that you could go to. Sean, of course, you just mentioned in the comments the idea of the Juventus. I would not be surprised if La Liga clubs come in for him. I would not be surprised if Juve do, or whatever, or even German clubs come in for him. But at the same time, I would also not be surprised if he doesn't mind staying in the Premier League. And Arsenal would kind of suit him, if I'm being honest. Barcelona want him too, according to CJ Glasgow. I don't know if that's true or not. I could not confirm that. But I would imagine many clubs would want him for the right price, because Gabriel Jesus, despite some of his flaws, is still a fantastic footballer that I do think has got an awful lot of potential, and I do think will score an awful lot of goals. And I say potential, I know he's not a kid anymore, but he's still not an old striker, and many a better player than him started later. Drogba was a late bloomer, for example. Very different player, but he was a late bloomer when it came to being a big goal scorer. 25 years old right now. He's young. He's relatively young in the grand scheme of things, so do not be surprised if he goes somewhere and does really well. Only 25. I love Gabriel Jesus. It's worth remembering that even though he does waste chances in front of goal, and I think his XG is something like 72 and he's got 53 goals, so he's massively underperformed in front of goal. He scored some big goals. Of course, a goal against Chelsea, as someone pointed out there. Of course, the Centurions moment would not have happened without him. He's always been good in a big game for battling and working and pressing. Of course, a goal as well at the Bernabeu against Real Madrid. He scored some big goals. I think there was one against Leicester once as well. Either way, he scored some very big goals for us that have been very critical in big moments. He's a big player, man. He's absolutely up for the big game. Even if his finishing does let him down here and there, I am more than happy always with Gabriel Jesus in our squad, because I think he's really good footballer. He's absolutely a really good footballer. I would not be surprised at the same time if he does move, because it feels relatively obvious, doesn't it? It feels obvious that at some point he's going to move on. Would say if you're watching once again, please hit the subscribe button. Let's get those likes up as well. 62 likes at the moment. We can get to 150. We can do it. Hit the like button right now. But yeah, every now and then something has to give. He's been at Man City for a long time now, like many seasons. This is his, what season is this now at Man City? He's been here, this is his 6th season at Manchester City, and he's still never quite become the main man. Only 3 Premier League goals this season in 23 appearances. Admittedly, he's played as a winger, but you would want more from him. 17 goals in his first full season. 7 and 11, by the way, in his first half season, which says it all. 7 and 11. He's dropped off since then. 17 in 42, 21 in 47, 23 in 53, 14 in 42, and 7 in 34 this season. He's got less of a goal scorer, but do not be surprised if he scores 30 goals somewhere. Honestly, it would not surprise me. But I like him, man. I like him. I think there's Jack there saying, I'd like to see Gabriel go somewhere else outside of England so I can get his name on the back of his shirt. Do you know what? I want to see him go somewhere else outside of England too, just because I feel like he will come back to haunt us. I would not blame him for scoring against Man City if he does, but I kind of want him away from Man City for that reason, man. If he goes to Arsenal, he's absolutely scoring against us. And if you don't think he's scoring against us, you're a madman. He's absolutely going to do it. It's just how it is. We know this is how football works and so on. But yeah, I mean, this is it's not surprising. I personally, it is kind of controversial. I would like to see a relative overhaul of Manchester City's forward line. I like the idea of some players that are coming in that are killers. For me, I absolutely want to see Cole Palmer being the backup to Riyad Mahrez. I think he's fantastic on the right-hand side. I think he's a natural finisher, suits the Man City style of play. I want to see Haaland come in, goals. I want to see Alvarez come in. All of a sudden, if you've got Alvarez, Haaland, and you've got maybe Palmer playing a bit more regularly as a winger, that is goals there, man. That is genuine goals there. Those 3 know their way to goal. And I like that, I like it an awful lot. Cole Palmer, by the way, playing for the EDS right now. He scored the most Cole Palmer goal in the world, cutting in from the right, putting it in the bottom corner. He's a natural finisher. We've seen it already. So I like the idea of a refresh of our forward line, a little bit of spontaneity, and keep those midfielders away from the forward line. Get Foden deeper, get Grealish deeper again. Get Bernardo deeper, get them creating, get them not being the ones to actually deliver the goals, and all of a sudden things start to change, don't they? They do start to change, and it's natural, man. Natural. Things have to adapt and evolve every now and then. They have to. You have to keep moving things on every now and then. Pete saying a few things you can say about Jesus, but one is he's a consummate pro. He puts in a shift, never short on energy, and he doesn't complain or he doesn't get picked. Exactly. Say what you want about Jesus, but that man is the very definition of professionalism. He works exceptionally hard. He's likable. Never complains. He's versatile. He's absolutely a manager's dream. I love him. I genuinely love him. And I think it's something that we could go to regret if we let him leave, because that's football sometimes, man. Sometimes it's better the guy that you know. And I think he's been crucial in some of the big games this season. His work rate, his desire, it's been huge. It genuinely has. And I think sometimes we give these players a little bit of a hard time. 2 more subscribers, by the way, to get to 600 on there. So 65 and 600. Hit that subscribe button. Josh loves him even as a Jaguna. Oh, Josh is an Arsenal fan by the looks of it, mate. You would absolutely like him. Yeah, I mean, he's not going to score you loads and loads and loads of goals, I don't think, but absolutely, he would improve Arsenal's squad, and he would genuinely take you up another level, I reckon. Linking up with, your Odegaards, your Martinellis, Sakas of the world, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, Smith Rowe, you should take him. He definitely improves your squad, and I would rather him these days than Lacazette. And Aubameyang, of course, he's pretty much moved on. So, yeah, get him, man. Get him. If you can, Arsenal, get him. I don't want him to go there, but, But, yeah, this doesn't surprise me. It'd be a massive shame, but can anyone really say that they'd be surprised? Some people would rather Sterling go. Okay, fair enough. For what it's worth, I think the Sterling criticism, that he's lost a lot of form. I get that. But I do actually weirdly think Sterling will find form again if we find a striker. Sterling's at his very best when he has people to run off, when he has people to find in the box, and when he's not meant to be the goal-scoring burden, basically. I think, honestly, Sterling alongside a Haaland and an Alvarez and a Foden as a winger, things change. I guarantee you things change again. Look what Sterling was like when we had Aguero in the middle, man. Taking all the pressure, all the space. These days, everyone is on Sterling because he's the goal threat. If you had an Aguero type, Haaland, for example, in the middle, two people go to... Look, in the past, two people went to Aguero because he's Sergio Aguero. Now no one's there. No one goes to him. So all the pressure is on the wingers. That's why it's so hard, honestly, for our players to create space, because they don't need to defend the centre of the pitch because they're not scared in the same way that they would be scared of Aguero or Haaland. So if Haaland, someone like that, does come in, I guarantee you all of a sudden the likes of De Bruyne and Sterling and Foden, they just have more space because that is naturally how football works. So that's what I honestly think. I honestly think. So do not put it past him. And of course as well, I think if you're Guardiola's eyes, if you've got Sterling or Jesus, Sterling's going to win. Regardless of what any of us think, Sterling is going to win. That's just how it is, man. It's just how it is. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this unfolds, really. I love the man. I think he's a quality footballer. And obviously, that famous gif is one of my favourites of all time. Do we keep tweeting that, man? Every time United don't play well. I love, by the way, Pete saying 274 people watching, only 55 likes. He's got a point, man. Where are the likes at? Where are the likes at, lads? You know, let's get the likes up. We can get to 200 likes. We can do it right now as a group. I'd love to see where he goes, and I'll be following him quite intensely. Actually, it's weird though that even him, we've got six years out of him. Like, it's a long time. And to be honest, if we're going to be really honest about Jesus, if he does go, he's been worth absolutely every single penny. Can anyone deny that, man? We got 27. Was he 27 million, 30 million? He's absolutely been worth that. He really has. I mean, for a squad player of the level of Manchester City and some of the big goals and big moments he's given us. Absolutely worth it, man. Genuinely worth every single penny over the years. He's been a 30 million forward for us, put it that way. He really has been. I don't really want him to go, weirdly, because I've got a lot of warmth for him in general. But, you know, overall, a fantastic player. And he'll be good. Masoom asking how am I? I'm good, thank you. Papa Stephen, Darren. Well, I'm going to be an actual papa eventually, you know. I can't wait to be a dad, actually. When we've got a kid and that, she'll have the baby on videos with me every now and then and get the mic on the little baby. I said him then. I don't even know the gender genuinely. We'll find out on Monday. Nicola's adamant it's going to be a boy, so I keep saying Kim. It's her fault. The baby. Well, have him there like that and be like, what do you reckon? Should I do that every now and then? I'm going to. Can't help it. All about the content. So I don't actually know if it will be Arsenal that Gabriel Jesus joins, or I don't know where he'll go. But at the same time, who would really be surprised if he did leave? It's just how it is, man. Just how it is. Of course, like, we are looking at a potential overhaul of the squad. You know, maybe Bernardo goes. I hope he doesn't, but we haven't solved this future yet. Morris has got a year left. Gundogan's not got long left either. There's an awful long time. Thank you, Dedication TV. It's an awful long time, obviously, for some of these things to happen, but, you know, some of these players haven't signed contracts yet. It's a bit mad. Cameron just said here, I'll bring it up on screen, which is interesting to note, you know. Cameron said here, it's interesting to note, Cameron said, where is it? Sterling with a striker in 17-18, 23 goals, 18-19, 25 goals, 19-20, 31 goals. Without a striker, 14 and 14. I don't think that's a coincidence. I genuinely believe that that's not a coincidence. I think Sterling is absolutely at home with a striker in the team. The reason being is, I think it's in his head. Also, tactically, I think there's more space for him because, once again, people are drawn to strikers. Aguero takes space. Of course he does, because he's the threat. But I also think mentally, scoring goals when chances mean less is a lot easier. And what I mean by that, if you're a Manchester City winger or a midfielder, your job is not to score goals. It's the strikers. And Aguero was so good over the years at it that I honestly think it took the expectation, the pressure off. It's no big deal to miss a chance when you're Raheem Sterling or a winger when Aguero's on the pitch, because Aguero is ultimately going to score if you give him a chance. That pressure isn't on you. When we're playing a false nine, all of a sudden, every single player that isn't a striker, that's normally a winger or midfielder, they know the job's on them to score. Scoring and being the main man is an absolutely different kettle of fish. It just is. It just is. You're being asked to do something to save the team that isn't your usual role. I understand why so many players bottle chances in that instance, where they would score if we had a striker. Because scoring the second, third in the game, knowing that Haaland's going to bail you out, it's so much easier. It's so much easier. Psychologically, they are just humans. They are just people. And you've got to consider those factors. So this is why I honestly would not be surprised if, when it comes to it, Guardiola's like, nah, I trust him to score goals when we get a striker back. And also, he's so good at making space for the likes of someone like Haaland. The second half of the EDS, by the way, hasn't started yet, so I'm waiting for that. I don't know why it hasn't started yet, but it hasn't, On City Plus, it's still showing highlights of the games. So, yeah. But we'll see how it unfolds. It's going to be a really interesting summer, a very interesting summer. We're going to boil some piss, I reckon, if Haaland comes in and Alvarez comes. It's going to absolutely change the perception of Manchester City yet again, and the way that we play. I can't wait, man. I can't wait. Sometimes you need that, man. Sometimes you need it. It's going to be really interesting to see how it all unfolds. Jesus is a fantastic player. He really is. And I think we don't sometimes realise how good he is. Oh, we did it. We got to 600. Wonderful. You're all beautiful people. Thank you so much. 60,600. Look at that beautiful symmetry. Can we get to 60,606 so we get a nice little palindrome on the go? I love a good palindrome. I love palindromes in general. So if we could do that, go for it. So I think the second half of the EDS is about to kick off. So when it does, I will crack on and watch that, I reckon. But for now, though, I'm going to carry on talking to you. Reunite Haaland and Jude next year to replace Gundo. I would love Jude Bellingham, Stelios. Nicola likes the name Jude, by the way, as well. It's another name she likes the name of. That's not probably what it's going to call, but yeah, she likes the name Jude. Do you need a drink? Yeah. Luke, you've made that joke about 20 times, but no chance. I'm not religious in the slightest. Sorry, any religious people, but I'm not. Ornstein Gabby article, Stephen. What's Ornstein said? Let me have a look. I'll go and see what he said. David Ornstein. What's David Ornstein said? Oh, there we go. So I'll jump over to here. Ornstein's absolutely verified that. Oops, the wrong screen. There you go. So Ornstein has said Arsenal explored possibility of signing Gabriel Jesus from Man City. Clubs yet to speak, but talks between Edo and Reps for months. 25 years open to idea. Arsenal current favourites. Currently in among options. Yeah. I mean, Ornstein knows his shit when it comes to Arsenal, doesn't he? It would make an awful lot of sense for them, man. It really would. I think there's something in this. The Arteta links are absolutely... yeah. It makes an awful lot of sense. It just makes an awful lot of sense. So I think this is going to happen. I really think not going to happen. I think it's going to happen that he leaves, It's just how it is sometimes. But either way, guys, the second half is about to kick off. I'm going to go and watch that. Thank you so much for a wonderful little stream. I hope you all have a wonderful day. I'm going to go live first thing tomorrow morning to do my match preview. Nice and early. I'll do it about 8:30 or something like that. I'm going to get out of the way then in the morning. I was going to do a match preview, but I wanted to chat about this. Also, tomorrow, is anyone going to the game watching? If you're going to the game, I'm doing some more presenting tomorrow in Man City. I'm going to be at the side of the pitch before the game, just doing the whole... Hey guys, Stephen here at the side of the pitch. Manchester City warming up ahead of Watford. Hi Kel in the studio, all that kind of stuff. I'm doing that tomorrow, which is going to be weird. I've never been at the side of the pitch before for Man City, and I'm terrified of doing that. But I'm going to do it, man. I'm going to do it. you notice in the stats there, Metosh. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting tomorrow. Wish me luck. Wish me luck. So if you see me doing the chat down the side of the pitch, please do take a photo and send me a DM me on Twitter. It'll be funny. Thank you so much, Buster Gene. It's very, very appreciated. I'll see you there, Sam and Luke as well. It's very interesting. Imagine you get to interview Kev one day. Cameron, would be wonderful. I'm going to suggest that one day, at the start we try and get a player or something like that. It won't happen, but you never know. Thank you very much, everyone. Everyone, you're all being lucky. You're all being lovely. Sorry, not lucky. Sergio, I've just talked about Ornstein's tweet. I saw that. For now, though, I'm going to end it here and go watch the second half. Thank you. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Big love to everyone. It helps keep this channel going. The patrons, the members, and all you beautiful people. Yep, even you there. You're all wonderful. You're all gorgeous. Like, comment, subscribe, all the usual stuff. Do let me know down in the comments what you make of this potential move. Do show the channel a little bit of love by hitting the like button, and do, of course, hit that subscribe button. Have a wonderful evening and a wonderful weekend, and come on City for tomorrow. I'll see you in the morning for the match preview in a bit.